InstaSnap, good morning, what's going on? If you're an entrepreneur, you're doing something a little bit different with your life and you're getting grief from your family, from your friends, from people because they don't have the same vision as you, listen up, because we're going to do a little bit of a lesson on this. We're going to talk about social dynamics and family dynamics, because this is really important, because this stops a lot of people going and doing something that they want to do because they're not aware of the certain social dynamics. So here's you, and you have a list. You have a hierarchy of values, as DeMartini calls it. Some people call it soul-guided desires. You have a hierarchy of things that are important to you in your life. This is your most important thing in life. This is your second most, third most, and it sort of goes on like this. This is a list is infinitely long, by the way, but by the time you get down to here, the things on your list are pretty unimportant. You don't really give a crap, right? Now, really, really important, what creates this list? It's your voids. Voids drive values, and in particular, the voids that you had in your life, the things that you thought were missing, particularly as you were a kid growing up, they will tend to be up here on your list. So if you perceived as a kid that you didn't have maybe a male role model in your life, you didn't have a father figure, you could have a void of that, and you will dedicate a lot of your energy to going and trying and finding that male figure in your life. You've seen the people who go and do that, right? Same with money. If you perceived that you didn't have much money growing up and you was a pain point for you and that was a void for you, you could carry that through to adulthood and that could become a value. Voids become values. What you thought that was missing as a kid so often becomes your values as an adult. Most of my students know my story. When I was a kid, my biggest voids were I didn't stand out, I felt very poor, and I didn't really fit into the wealthier school that I moved to, and I resented my parents' cars. They were really cheap and they weren't the nice cars like what the other kids had, right? So those voids have now manifested into a set of values in adulthood. So I stand out by doing money and having cars. My voids as childhood turn into my values in adulthood. That's very, very common. If you look closely, you'll probably find it in your own life as well. So knowing your childhood voids and then knowing your adult values and knowing really what's important to you is a major, major key. If you're going to go and do something like become an entrepreneur, start a business and put yourself out there in the public eye, you got to know what's important to you, and you got to know why it's important to you. That's why going into your childhood and doing a bit of a regression there and putting together the pieces of the puzzle of your life and figuring out, you know what, I'm dedicated to this because of this, and I love that. That is a major key, step one. And step two, once you've done that, you realize that you have values in your life. You have a hierarchy of things that are important to you in a certain order because of these things. And then you realize every other human being on earth has their own hierarchy that's unique because of other reasons. And that's a major key to understand that, because look, if you have money and business really high up on your list, like I know that a lot of my followers here will have, and then you have another person in your life, maybe family, who have money and business all the way down here on their list because look, they have other bigger voids, then what's going to happen is you're going to dedicate a lot of your time and energy to money and business, and this person they won't dedicate that much time to money and business. And there'll be a projection and injection type dynamic between the two people. This person here is going to say, look, you're working too hard. And if you're unaware of this dynamic and you don't know really what's going on here, you could say, what do you mean I'm working too hard? Shut the fuck up. And you'll say, you'll say you're a poor fuck and you don't have any business and money and get your shit together. And you'll be fighting with this person because it's just not that important to them. Because you know what, maybe their biggest values and their biggest voids in childhood was social and family. So what they'll do to you is say, you need to spend some more time with the family and you need to chill out more and relax more and all this stuff. All they're doing is projecting what's important to them onto you. If you're unaware of social family dynamics, you could bite and you could fight back. And it's a futile argument, you're wasting time and energy, but you could fight with each other, basically projecting onto each other what's most important to you. It's a futile argument. Wise not to get involved. It's wise not to get involved with the argument because that's completely futile. Just know that your values are your values because of these reasons in childhood, and guess what? Their values are their values because of certain things that have happened to them on their journey. So love them for that, and there's no reason to fight. Now, here's one more thing that I need to let you know, because this is a big one, right? If you were brought up by a family with a certain set of values, which is what most people were brought up with, their parents had a certain set of values which they exposed you to, then that which they expose you to won't be a void for you. If your family was very, very family orientated, family, but they didn't do money, because money wasn't important to them, guess what? It could be a void for you and you could take up the money dynamic. This particular dynamic is very, very, very common. Parents are family and having kids and hanging out with all the bloody siblings and all the hoo-ha, and then the kid feels like a poor fuck. Money was a void. The kid takes up money, and so the kid then wants to go and make money. And the parents with the family values say, you shouldn't be focused on money, you shouldn't be spending so much time doing money and business. And there'll be the projection injection argument. And if you subordinate to mum and dad and want to try and please them, which is what 99% of kids want to do, they want to go and please and appease mum and dad, make them proud, well, then you have what we call a moral dilemma. Because to go and make them proud, it means you have to go and do what's important to them. They're not going to be proud of you and your values. Because if your parents' values are family, guess what? They're going to be most proud of you when you go and spend time with your family and your grandparents and your siblings and you call them up every freaking day. But to you, that's not a void. You want to make the money. So I've seen people live their entire life. I've seen people in their 40s and 50s now who have sacrificed what is most important to them, their highest values, to go and try and please and appease mum and dad in their other values. And it takes until a midlife crisis for them to realize, golly gosh, what have I been doing with my whole life? I've been doing all this crap that I hate, to go and get some kind of praise from my parents. They're praise slaves. It will hold you back. I see this really affect people's lives. One of the wisest things that you can spend some time looking up is family dynamics. Because if you put an entire family into a blender, what you're going to find is it'll spit out a perfect blend of all the traits to empower all the areas of life. It's almost like it's a divinely orchestrated allocation of values, so that one sibling can focus on that, one can focus on that, the parents are focused on this, and as a team, they have the highest probability of survival because all the bases are covered. But if you don't honor yourself and don't honor the area where you are really most inspired from within to go and pursue and empower, then you could be trying to do what they say or what he's doing. And you shut down your own light, you dim your own light, you try to copy everyone else, and the whole family falls over. So I hope you enjoyed today's little mini lesson on social and family dynamics. If this, what I was discussing today, if this is currently playing out in your life, give me a little swipe up or give me a thumbs up and let me know, because I know that this was a highly requested topic. One little final exercise, what I can sometimes do is visualize everyone on the planet who wants you to do X, Y, and Z. The government, the society, the parents, the grandparents, the girlfriend at times, the friends, all the things that other people think you should be doing, and think, fuck them. Do what you want to do, you scallywags. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I'm going to go now. I'm going to get back to work. Golly gosh.